You're walking alone on a deserted road, the trees towering above you like skeletal fingers, when you hear the distant sound of sirens. The air is thick with an eerie silence, and you can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. This is the haunting atmosphere that surrounds the shocking case of a suspected serial killer, who has been charged in a cold case homicide investigation in Lake County. You find yourself standing at the edge of a dense forest, the trees swaying gently in the wind. The sun is setting, casting a golden glow over the landscape. But as the darkness begins to creep in, you can't help but feel a sense of unease. This is the serene yet ominous backdrop for the events that would unfold in Lake County, where a series of mysterious disappearances would leave the community shattered. The year was 2010, and the residents of Lake County were about to face their worst nightmare. As you walk through the forest, the rustling of leaves beneath your feet serves as a reminder that you're not alone. The sound of twigs snapping and the faint whisper of unknown voices in the distance only add to the sense of foreboding. You can't shake the feeling that something is off, that something is lurking just out of sight, waiting to strike. You're standing in a dimly lit room, the smell of old books and dust filling your nostrils. The walls are lined with shelves, each one stacked high with boxes and files. This is the archive room of the Lake County Police Department, where a team of investigators has been working tirelessly to unravel the mystery of the disappearances. As you sift through the files, you come across a chilling discovery: a series of cryptic letters and messages that seem to point to a single, sinister individual. The letters are typed on old, yellowed paper, and the words seem to leap off the page, filling you with a sense of dread. You can't help but wonder what drove this person to commit such heinous crimes, and what their ultimate goal was. The sound of papers rustling and the faint hum of a computer in the background serve as a reminder that you're not alone in this investigation. You're standing in the middle of a bustling police station, the sound of phones ringing and computers beeping filling the air. The smell of freshly brewed coffee wafts through the room, mingling with the scent of sweat and desperation. This is the nerve center of the investigation, where a team of detectives has been working around the clock to track down the suspected serial killer. As you watch, a detective pores over a map of the area, marking off locations and tracing the movements of the suspect. The tension in the room is palpable, and you can't help but feel that the investigators are closing in on their target. But just as they think they're getting close, a new lead emerges, sending them down a darker and more twisted path. The sound of a printer humming in the background serves as a reminder that time is running out, and the stakes are higher than ever. You're standing in a dark and abandoned warehouse, the only sound being the creaking of old wooden beams and the distant hum of a city. The air is thick with the smell of decay and rot, and you can't help but feel that you're being watched. This is the location where the suspected serial killer was finally apprehended, but as the investigators began to dig deeper, they uncovered a shocking twist. The killer, it turned out, was not acting alone. There was a second, equally sinister individual, who had been pulling the strings from behind the scenes. The sound of footsteps echoing through the warehouse serves as a reminder that you're not alone, and that the truth is more complex than you ever could have imagined. As you navigate the dark and dusty space, you stumble upon a series of cryptic symbols etched into the walls, hinting at a larger, more sinister conspiracy. You're standing in a crowded courtroom, the sound of murmuring voices and shuffling papers filling the air. The smell of freshly polished wood and old books wafts through the room, mingling with the scent of sweat and anxiety. This is the scene of the trial, where the suspected serial killer is finally brought to justice. As you watch, the prosecutor presents the evidence, painting a chilling picture of the killer's crimes. The defendant sits silently, their face a mask of emotionless calm, as the jury delivers a guilty verdict. But as the sentence is read, you can't help but wonder if justice has truly been served. The sound of the judge's gavel banging down serves as a reminder that the case is closed, but the memories of the victims will live on forever. As you exit the courtroom, you're met with a sea of faces, each one etched with a mix of relief and sadness. The sound of cameras clicking and reporters shouting questions fills the air, as the community begins to heal and move on from the trauma. You're standing in a quiet, suburban neighborhood, the sun setting over the rooftops. The smell of freshly cut grass and blooming flowers wafts through the air, mingling with the scent of barbecue and laughter. This is the scene of a community that has been forever changed by the events of the past. As you walk through the streets, you notice that the houses are all adorned with flowers and ribbons, a tribute to the victims and their families. The sound of children playing in the distance serves as a reminder that life goes on, even in the face of tragedy. But as you approach the house of one of the victims, you're met with a sense of sadness and loss. The family is still grieving, and the wound of their loss will never fully heal. The sound of a door creaking open serves as a reminder that the past is still present, and that the memories of the victims will never be forgotten. As you look back on the case, you're left with a haunting question: what drives someone to commit such heinous crimes, and how can we prevent it from happening again in the future? The answer, much like the killer's motivations, remains a mystery, leaving us with a sense of unease and uncertainty. As we conclude this chilling case, we're left with more questions than answers. What drives someone to commit such heinous crimes, and how can we prevent it from happening again in the future? Share your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime content. The mystery may be solved, but the truth is still out there, waiting to be uncovered. Will you be the one to shed light on the darkness? The clock is ticking, and the next case is just around the corner.